Hello, you. Yes, you. This is Usayome Sale from Ways Primetime. Now, we appreciate your continued support for watching our content, following us across all our social media. But we've noticed, for those of you watching us on YouTube, 88.5% of you who watch our content aren't subscribed to our channel. Why? Now, if you are enjoying our content, you enjoy our shows, and you want to stay updated on all things Ways, it's time to hit that subscribe button below. Now, subscribing isn't just for you. It's for the growth of our channel. It helps us get bigger and better. With your support, we can continue to bring even more intriguing and exciting content. How about you subscribing right now and being a part of our community?
Good morning and welcome to Ray's Breakfast. We're thrilled to start the day with you, our valued viewers. On this vibrant platform, we tackle the conversations that matter the most, and I'm delighted to serve as host for today. My name is Oluchi Omenka, and of course, I'll be sharing the stage with my talented co-anchor, God's Beauty Israel. Let's get started. Good morning, God's Beauty.
How are you?
Your signature wave.
I'm in.
It's good to see you all, hyped up this morning.
How are you?
I'm fine, but I have a little bit of concern looking at your face right now. I know you're hyped up and you're energetic, but I don't like what I'm seeing there.
My eyes, right? I'll get a solution for it. I didn't know it was going to get like this bad. Yesterday I was complaining, and this is not like the first time. We've been on the set together where like I'm tearing up and all. So I was thinking like it's the normal eye itching and all, and that's like a result of dust. I've actually not been like with my glasses for I think 2-3 months now. Yeah. So I was literally thinking it was probably one of those dust, and all of that. And I'm like, it's going to go. Only for me to wake up this morning and I'm seeing my eyes look, so I'm like, okay, this is actually even more serious than I thought.
Do you know one myth that can back this up? You have probably been doing some things in the dream, and so during that battle and fight, something scratched your eye. And the reality and the reality is what we're seeing now. But on a very serious note, sometimes we can overlook some of these little allergies and all.
Actually.
I remember one time I used to have very itchy red eye, very, very itchy. It was so bad, I had to go to the optician. I did some tests. They didn't even find anything per se, but eventually left. So this is your cue to take your health seriously. But apart from that, what's been happening to you?
Nothing. I mean, self-development, self-care.
Self-development is something. So why would you start with nothing? People are so humble that they don't like to start with, oh my God, it's been so exciting. Start with nothing.
Because again, I feel like it's like something that happens to every individual at a certain stage of their life. So it's basically like, okay, it's my own turn now to be self-developed. It's my own turn to take self-care,
very seriously.
Exactly. So again, it's like not like a normal stuff. So it's not like it's something very big, but I mean, that's it.
Will you ask me?
You don't need to tell me. I'm going to ask you.
Well, nothing really out of the box, but I say self-development as well. I've been trying to upskill, and a friend recently asked me yesterday, do you like to study? And I'm like,
I like that.
Will I say yes or no? Depending on what material you want me to study. But I had to say yes. And then he gave me this exclusive access to some materials that he has paid for and is studying. And it was quite interesting on some international studies, diplomacy and stuff like that. Very big words, but I was excited that I have people like this in my corner that are interested in making you grow. Because that's a paid material, exclusive access. It must have cost some hundreds of thousands or some dollars. And you're giving it to me to study. Now, the onus now lies on me to ensure that you actually study. Because I remember again last week somebody had to pay for a voice training for me, and like people that are doing all these things for me, it's making me feel so loved and appreciated. And the fact that there are people rooting for you beyond the hype, and you've got this, you're talented, you're all of that, they are paying for resources and materials that will help you get better. So it's now on me to actually get better, else you will go to F-fire.
It's going to be looking very,
very
bad.
Shady.
Yes, now. I mean,
all right, ladies and gentlemen, it's Ray's Breakfast, the #1 breakfast show in Nigeria, Africa, the world, if you can say that. We'll take a short break now. When we return, we have some interesting facts on Today in History. So stay with us. We'll be right back with Today in History. All right, welcome back, viewers, and thank you for sticking with us. Like you watched on the screen on Today in History, I'd love to take a moment to reflect on the significant event that shaped our world. Today, we're highlighting two fascinating milestones. On February 4th, 2004, Facebook was founded. Facebook was founded by Mark Zuckerberg, pronounced Mark Zuckerberg, not Zuckerberg. Then a sophomore at Harvard University, along with his college roommate and fellow student. And then February 4th, 2007, Tony Dungy's historic win. Tony Dungy made history when he became the first African-American head coach to win a Super Bowl. So what are your thoughts on this historical milestone? I'd love to hear your insight and perspectives about them. Guys, Richie, do you have a Facebook account?
I used to. But mine was hacked. That's the problem. Yeah, there was one I was using. I mean, back then when you stay in secondary school, after to go, it was Facebook. That was like the next.
Guess what? My first platform has to be Facebook. When to go was raining. I think I was in SS1 or SS. No, I was in GSS. I didn't have a phone one. So everybody was talking to go. Yeah, I don't even know how the interface whatever is. So the first time I had to open one of the social media platforms was Facebook. And it was so cool because I was posting all manner of pictures. Do you know? It was so exciting.
I think it was also during that time too that Snapchat became very rapid because then all of those flowers. What made me remember this is because I remember one of the times where I go back. If not that it was hacked, sometimes I go back to see like my secondary school pictures and all of that. And I remember back then, one of my like teachers, our computer teachers at that time, we used to tell us this thing is not fine. But then we used to see it as very beautiful. And there was something he said that made me even to now I remember it, and which is don't worry, when you grow older, you know that it was ugly that you put there. Right now, if I see those pictures, I'm like, now what the hell is this?
It was so fun. Then I remember we had to practice different poses. There was this thing called pouting. Okay. You know, till now I still can't pout. It was so difficult to practice, but now it has evolved. I think one very important thing with Facebook is how it has evolved over time. Yeah. I mean, introduction of Meta, the inclusion of Instagram and everything. And it's quite an interesting fact. All right, remember you're the main ingredient in today's conversation, and we'd love to hear your thoughts on this. Let's take a short break. We still have to look through the headlines across the globe making waves this morning before our hot topic. So stay with us, we'll be right back. All right, welcome back. Thank you for staying with us. Let's look through today's papers and the things that are trending locally and internationally. We have The Punch, The Guardian, and the international papers. I'll start with The Punch. The major headline reads, Telecom tariff hike. NLC halts protest as federal government plans review panel. Labour leader Ajero insists committee report will determine Congress' next step. Cyber terrorism court remands 42 Chinese, Filipinos, and others $222,729 for feature. Makinde demands diligence as Oyo gears up for Alaafen's coronation. Police grill Ogunpa drunk monarch suspend for 6 months. Bola Ige murder. Ladoja demands Akonde's apology. Threatens legal action. Above that, we see 200 billion naira monthly electricity subsidy benefits reach Nigerians, says Tinubu's aide. Local government autonomy, NULGE cautions CBN against colluding with governors and may hire auditors. I would have spoken about this tariff hike thing, but since there's still some back and forth and the protest has not been finalized, or it's not really clear if that's going to happen, I'll skip that story and go to the subsidy on. So let me read the details I found on the Punch paper. It says that the federal government has said it spends 200 billion to subsidize electricity monthly. And according to the government, this amount benefits the wealthiest 25% of Nigerians rather than those who truly need assistance. And reacting, the special advisor did not deny the looming tariff hike. She, however, maintained that she did not say that the tariff will be raised by 65%, because I think there was some news or information maybe last week or before that the tariff hike was going to be increased again by 65%. But the special advisor has come out now to debunk that information, that that's not how it's looking like yet. But this particular comment of, the subsidy benefiting the wealthiest 25%, I'm wondering if that's totally true, because when this whole tariff stuff started, I think one of the first people that were clamoring and agitated about it was also the rich people, probably those that will fall in, the whole band A and everything. So I think it affects everyone. But here it says that this is a misrepresentation, pardon me, of what I actually said in a recent press, and went ahead to give the full story and how that it's really not supposed to be that 65% for now. But I'm wondering, do you think that this whole subsidy thing benefits some class of people in Nigeria? I mean, when policies like this hits us, don't you think it rubs across different classes of people, average?
Because it's everybody that is using it. And the interesting part, the fact that it is increased, whatever everybody is paying increases as well. So, I mean, I don't see where it is benefiting anybody, except persons that don't pay. If you're not paying, of course, you will not feel it now. You have no business with what's going on. But once you are using your hard-earned money to, pay, of course, you will feel it. Which kind of increment with this one? Why is it even increasing in the first place? So, I mean, I don't think there's any special persons that this whole increment will not touch. Except you're not paying. Except you're exempted from the payment and all. If not, it will reach you, no worry.
Everybody will collect.
Yeah.
All right, let's see what's happening on the international space.
All right, straight into the New York Times newspaper. About the top left, that's the main article we have there. Favoring tough guy act for allies and foes alike. Top right, with the image of shipping containers and vehicles at an inspection site in Mexico, we have Trump's tariffs set to imperil global trading. So the middle left section, we have the Europe weighs how to bluster military might. Bottom left, we have for Democrats, unity is absent against Trump. Then bottom right section, we have which is like the last headline, we have a NASA diversity goal Trump once accepted is now in danger. And that's something I want to talk on, because, I mean, I'm just hearing the whole, there's just back and forth about this DEI policies, right? So in details, we have here NASA's long-standing commitment to diversity, equity, and inclusion. That's the DEI. In astronaut selection and workforce hiring is now under threat. Initially, Trump administration has accepted and maintained these policies, but with his return in office, there are growing concerns that they may be rolled back. DIE policies at NASA have played a critical role in broadening opportunities for underrepresented groups in space exploration, ensuring that astronauts and engineers reflect America's diverse population. Now, if those policies are weakened or removed, it could limit access for marginalized groups and slow progress towards equal representation in the space sector. Now, critics fear that this dismantling NASA diversity initiative could reverse decades of efforts to create a more inclusive space program, which I actually agree. So you already know like the background story of why we're talking about this DIE now. You remember that the incident that happened in Washington, D.C. So, I mean, the clash and all of that. And, I mean, people were expecting, what's his name now? Trump to come out and maybe sympathize, if I use Oni's word, sympathize with the crowd and, the people that died and all of that. Think about Sister 7. And instead of him to do that, he already, portioning blame and saying, oh, the reason why this happened is because of the DEI policy that you guys have. And, I mean, he's stating here, the New York Times is stating here that the first time he was on, on set, he didn't have an issue with that. It was all smooth and all. Biden came and, every other person that followed that, that ladder, they were okay with the, with the policy and what's going on. But right now, he's coming out to say that he's not okay with it. And still yet, he has not even stated what kind of policy he wants to initiate. So if you say you're not okay with the DEI policy, that's the, diversity, inclusion, equity and inclusion. If you're not okay with it, okay, what policy do you want to state out? Because the reason why the policy is there is so that, everybody can actually work in the, aviation center now. People with, people living with disabilities, yes.
Yeah.
Anybody at all, once you're qualified, you're actually allowed to, work in. And somehow, I kind of agree. For me, it's the qualification. So whether you're using the DIE policies or not, this person's qualified enough to, work in the aviation center so that this kind of issues don't come up again. Do you get what I'm saying?
Yeah, I get it.
But if they are qualified, then, who am I not to, who are you not to put those people on set? But again, I understand the DIE policy, but, Trump coming out to say that this is one of the issues, this diversity thing is one of the reasons why, such incident is happening. Then let's see the policy that he wants to bring out. Instead of us just going back and forth, like I said earlier, just come out and tell us the policy that you think would work. Do you get what I'm saying? Yeah, that's it. That's all I have for you on the New York.
Yeah, I get what you're saying. All right, we'll take this short break. It's time for a hot topic. We're discussing accountability in relationship, and we have a special guest, an expert, if you can call it, who will join our conversation. So please do not go anywhere. Stay with us. We'll be right back shortly.
This season on Heartlines, we're committed to making a difference in people's lives. So Heartlines, in partnership with Reda Consult, is offering 12 free slots of counseling every quarter for people in need of professional counseling. Additionally, we're taking on 2 pro bono cases for individuals navigating a challenging divorce. To participate, please send an email to counsel@vedaconsult.com with your story. Our team will carefully review all submissions and will contact all the shortlisted candidates. Heartlines is live Mondays to Fridays at 10 p.m., so engage with us.
Welcome back, beautiful ladies and gentlemen. So today's topic is on relationship and accountability in relationship. Love is a beautiful feeling, but it's not enough to sustain a relationship on its own. For relationships to truly thrive, they require a foundation of mutual respect, trust, and accountability. But what does it mean to be accountable in a relationship? How can we balance the need for independence with the need for interdependence? And what role does communication play in holding ourselves and our partners accountable? In this exploration of love and accountability, we'll delve into these questions and more to uncover the secret to building lasting, healthy relationship. We're pleased to have Tosin Gbadebo, who is a communication consultant and life coach. Good morning, Mr. Tosin.
Morning, Oluchi. Good morning, God's beauty. Am I right?
Yes,
you are. Good
that's
morning.
so sweet of you to remember our names and call us by our names. I'm going to put that in my book. Welcome to the show.
Good morning. It's so nice to have you guys here.
Yeah.
Beautiful show, beautiful people.
Thank you
I'm
so
elated
much.
to be here.
We're
Thank
elated
so
to have
much
you
for
too. All right, let's go
Yeah.
straight into the conversation for today. We're discussing accountability in relationship and the need for it. Now, let's have this background. This is the month of February, and February is all about love. We're going to have a lot of people discussing love, giving different definitions to love. And on our platform, we also want to talk about love, but other things that are involved. So let's start with accountability. What does accountability mean to you in the context of a romantic relationship?
Okay, accountability, it's simple for me. That's you being open, you being who you are with your partner, not being fake, not being over or beneath your person. For me, if I'm allowed to quote the Bible, my definition, most definition of accountability is when the Bible talk about both of them were naked and they were not ashamed. So it's just you being naked before your partner, inside and outside, and you are not ashamed about it. You are not struggling to be naked. You are just who you are with your partner. That's accountability for me. So it goes beyond the regular checks and balances. It's about you being you before your partner.
Okay. So I like this definition that you gave us, because I mean that I feel like that is the problem we have when it comes to being humans now. Now, how do we teach ourselves to be accountable? I'm saying this because, I mean, there are lots of times here. Let me give you a perfect example. I think it's something that probably our culture also aids, right? If a man does something in the house, but because that notion of he's the man of the house, I mean, I'm not going to apologize. Don't you understand I'm the man of the house? I'm supposed to do it, and this is how I'm supposed to do. This is how it is supposed to be. Even when he wants to apologize, he probably will just buy a gift and say, no worry, no vex, and that's it. Not that he is going to really, like, apologize for it. So I want you to tell us, what are those things, or what are the ways or strategies for us to, be accountable, for us to know how to be accountable when we do the wrong things in a relationship now.
Okay, I would take it a bit deeper before I come. Accountability for me is like the floor of a foundation, like the first floor of a foundation. So there's a foundation to a building. You make the foundation and you start building on it. Accountability for me is like when you start building on it. And the foundation for me is trust and understanding. Trust and understanding. So when two people come together and they don't trust each other, or trust, the foundation of trust is not built between them, to be accountable to themselves is going to be difficult. It's going to be difficult. If again they don't understand their personality, because we are different people.
Yeah.
Personality traits are different. So, and I always say something to people. Probably maybe I met you at the age of 30, you were 28, and we now decided to start going out, or we decided to get married. And all of a sudden, overnight, you want me to jettison a culture, a behavior I've known for 30 years to adapt yours. Or I want you to jettison a culture, a behavior you've known for 28 years to adapt mine. Then that's going to be selfish, even though you can pretend. And that's why my definition earlier on was about being you, and that is you being accountable to your, even though you can pretend that you are trying to adapt it, baby, because you feel you don't want to lose me, I'm beautiful enough, I'm everything. It's just a matter of time. By the time we get involved into each other, it's just a building waiting to crumble, because the foundation of trust and understanding is not being built. And so we cannot be accountable to each other. So when a man comes in with such attitude, the first thing is, number one, first find the shoe that fits you in a relationship. It's beyond beauty. It's beyond, even though those things are very, very important, trust me. Finding a beautiful girl, finding a nice guy, somebody you're attracted to, is very, very important. But beyond that, find the shoe that fits you. Can you cope with this person's traits, personality traits? Can you cope with this behavior? Then if you are somebody who is open to be accountable to the later, you cannot marry a guy who keep bragging and, panting about being the man of the house, and he can't do anything, and nobody's going to ask about it. Then you should smell it from the beginning. And so the problem we've always had is people say, don't worry, we'll change. Don't worry. By the time we get into it, we'll go and see counselors. And no. The foundation has to be right. Once the foundation is not right, there's going to be a problem. So yes, we have guys out there who are like that. And but the truth is this is not the right way to go. But you are not responsible to change their personality. if they are not ready to change. So the best thing is sniff it from the beginning and look for the shoe that fits you, the size that fits you. Put it on.
Very interesting perspective. Thank you very much. Now, this leads me to the next question. You know, in relationship, many times there will be that point where we need to answer the difficult questions, because sometimes in starting relationship it comes up with the feelings, the butterflies, and we're just in over our feelings. But there are sometimes that there are difficult questions that need to be answered. Sometimes non-negotiables have to be discussed in relationship, and it's almost like a very edgy, like the edgy part of the relationship, because you are trying to be too careful. For example, I want to communicate my beliefs, my values, or some other things that maybe my finances as well, and I have some really different opinions to how you see these things, and it might be a bit difficult to communicate them. So how do you suggest, or what do you think partners can do to be able to talk about non-negotiables very well, even when they become difficult to talk about? Because the more they avoid it, the more it becomes a problem, difficult to fix.
Yes. Yes, 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 yes. And that comes to the place of communication. Don't forget, in my earlier submission, I spoke about the foundations of, of relationship. And for me, the two major foundations is trust and understanding. Now, the truth is this. Before love comes understanding. If you are married or if you are dating somebody that have chosen not to understand your person, there is no matter of explanation or communication or whatever you say, they will still continue in their way because they have chosen not to. When people just come to say, this is how I want it, that is how it's going to be, and there's no midpoint. And I've seen a lot of people like that. So communicating your values, communicating your finances, how you want things to go, is going to be difficult. Now, how would you do it if you found yourself in that position? Number one, it will take a lot of patience. You would have to be patient. And, this is now you're trying to fix, whatever has been on ground. So if you have not gotten into such a relationship, look out for the person that fits you, that would understand you better, that gets your language straight away. Because look, if you're going to live with somebody all your life, you're supposed to speak the same language, you're supposed to come from the same tribe. But if you have not gotten stuck with somebody who don't understand your language or who don't understand your tribe, then you have to be patient enough to teach them your language or to make them understand your language. So it comes with a lot of patience. It comes with a lot of strategies. Now, there are sometimes you have to look for the time whereby he's receptive, he's happy, or she. It doesn't have to be, the man's side, or she's happy, or she's, you have to watch out the mood. You have to watch out what to say, when to say it, how to say it, or things that just the best time for you to fit in what you have to fit in. And sometimes you can communicate non-verbal communications, but if you want to force it through, for me, you're not going to get any result. So the key point here is, if you are there already, you just have to be patient enough in how you communicate these things and how you bring, because these are the things that are going to form the principles by which your marriage or your relationship will go on by. You understand me? And look, again, if you are also going to do these things, you have to have the right motive to why you are doing this. Accountability in relationship has been treated over the years with the wrong motives, and that is why a lot of people are very edgy and sensitive towards being accountable to their partners. Because sometimes I've come to realize that the motive of which the other partner wants this partner to be accountable to them is wrong. And once the motive is wrong, it has depicted the success of whatever you want to do, because the motive about everything is just the reason why you are doing it, is the major thing about it. So once the motive about the reason why you want accountability in your relationship, which is key, accountability is key, but it has to come with the right motives. It has to come with the right motives. Thank you.
I want to just add to this. Listening to all that you've been saying, it seems like it's perfect, or it's most appreciated when you know the kind of person you're getting married to. But I want us to also consider that people evolve and people definitely change. So before when probably during our dating stage, premarital stage, I know you as a very extroverted person. This is your personality now. This is how you take information. This is how you handle conflict. But then in marriage, sometimes you can see that they evolve to become different people. So if we're still using this question or this thought of knowing the person you gotten married to, what if that person actually changed to what you did not expect? How do you then go about navigating this relationship that is already on, like we're walking on eggshells?
All right, then. I totally understand you, and I get it quite. I've come across people who decided to change their opinions about some things, but look, there is no smoke without fire. I've been running life in a certain way, and all of a sudden, things changed. Now, I am a sucker for looking for the reason, because if you do not get the actual reason why things have happened the way they happen, you might not be able to fix it from the foundation. You might just be addressing it at the surface, and addressing things at the surface might not really bring a solution to the problem. So now, if you're not dealing with people who have changed and you now have to work with eggshell, now for us, what we need to do is fix it. What we need to do is fix it. So why did he change, or why did she change? What happened? It could be something from my side that has influenced that change. It could be something which I have continually done that has influenced that change. And it could be an external influence out there that has influenced that change. Don't forget, look, life, we live by principles. Everything evolved by principles. There is even life itself, even the world we live in is built on principles. So once the principles don't change, if it is just the character that has changed, we can still get to fix it up in a way. But once the principles change, some people might have to seek extra help. And that's if they are willing to seek extra help. But however, if these changes come into place, take your time, find out what is going on. If it comes from your side, try fix it up. It is coming from an external influence. Try to check out how you can close the door against that external influence. And this comes with a lot of communication. It comes with a lot of conflict resolution strategies that you have to, bring on board. You have to try to, make it work, and just try to run along with it. Because look, once our values don't align, it's going to be difficult to be accountable to each other. Once our values don't align, it's going to be difficult. And that's why I've seen a lot of people, they are just living, they are not married. A lot of people are just sleeping and waking up together. They are not in sync with each other because values have shifted. So for these people, I would ask that, number one, seek extra help. But before you get to the place of extra help, try and find out where and how the turn or the shift has come into place. If you can find it out, good. Try fix it. Talk about it. Make sure you keep talking about it. Make sure you keep having that solemn assembly between each other, and try to remind each other why you are where you are. And that's actually part of accountability. Trying to remind each other where and how you have come to where you are, and trying to trace the step back and bringing yourself back to where you are supposed to be.
All right, thank you so much. We'll take this short break now. When we return, we'll continue the conversation to understand how best to handle conflicts, the strategies that are needed, and how effective communication can be birthed. Stay with us, we'll be right back shortly.
Tell us you're a Nigerian without saying a word. Energy security is one of the most pressing issues for many developing countries like Nigeria. And if there's going to be any meaningful progress, addressing our energy issues is non-negotiable.
I know you see light from my house. Make them do something.
Band A is expensive. I literally have to turn off all my appliances just to reduce costs.
We need light.
Introducing the Energy Outlook, your go-to show for everything energy. Every week, we'll bring you the latest insights, innovation, and in-depth analysis of Nigeria energy sector. From policy discussions to regulatory insights, we'll analyze the key decisions influencing growth and sustainability in the energy sector. We'll bring you the human stories behind the headlines, giving you a personal perspective on the broader energy challenges. Join me every Friday at 6 p.m. for the Energy Outlook, your guide to the future of energy, where energy means business.
Welcome back. We're still discussing relationship and accountability. We've been joined by an expert guest, and he has listed how communication is very important in building and maintaining relationship. Of course, we have God's Beauty in the house as well, who'd like to ask our expert guest some questions. So let's have it.
All right, let's talk a bit about building trust, right? I feel like that's like the major problem that we have, as humans. We are friends, and you probably do something to me, and you know what, I'm looking at it and I cannot trust this girl anymore. For someone like me, I don't think I really trust people. I just give them benefit of the doubt, right? So that's how I do to everybody. I just give them benefit of the doubt. So if you, at the end of the day, you misbehave or you do something to me, I don't feel it a lot more, because I've never really trusted you like that. So I don't even know if it's something, if it's a behavior, or if it's like a habit that everybody should, carry along with them, or is this something that you have to really trust people? I want to know what the dynamics is and how to build, trust, and for the relationship, be it romantic, be it, no matter what the kind of relationship it is, without friendship or whatever. But how do we even build trust? I want you to talk about that.
All right. Trust is a big issue. And it is a big issue because we have people who don't respect the essence of why we are together, either as friends or as lovers or as whatever relationship, work relationship and stuff. Now, what is trust? Practically, I'll just explain it practically. Trust is just for me to just, believe you to have my back, believe you to be nice to me, believe you to not harm me, believe you to understand me, believe you to just be good to me. So now, giving you a benefit of a doubt, for me, is okay. It's a good way to go, because we are humans and we don't know our minds. And in this time whereby sometimes you really need to watch your back, because you don't know who could harm you. You could trust your enemy who has a knife ready to stab you, and before you know it, you have to go and explain in heaven why you decided to be careless with your life. So it's okay to give the benefit of a doubt. But as we go on in our journey of this relationship,
Right.
Once I can attain that you are a good person, once I can ascertain that you have my back, once I can ascertain that you actually care about me, I begin to relax my sensitivity or my edginess towards you. I begin to, trust you the more and open up to you. Especially when we are in a romantic relationship, I begin to, become more vulnerable around you. I begin to, open up to you and things like that. But in the bid of doing this, if eventually you now turn around and you decided to breach the trust that we have between each other, one problem that people have had, which is it's not really a problem, but it's difficult, is that number one, it is so hurting that you find it so hard to forgive yourself for trusting that person, and you find it so hard to forgive that person for breaching the trust. So at that point in time, trust becomes an issue. Now, it can even extend to every other person around you at that point in time. So, but the truth is this, we would always find people that will breach trust. So brace up, brace up. It is hurting. Don't let us, it is really, really hurting. But in the place of letting down your guard, don't let it down all completely. That's my personal opinion and advice. Don't let it down all completely. Be vulnerable, but have your senses on. You know, think through it at every time. Trust, no doubt, but at least, you know, have your, how can I put it now? I don't want to say have your guard on, because that is not you not still trusting, but be sensible about it. Be sensible about it. And so they know that, okay, yes, this person trusts me, but this person is also on top of their game. This person also knows what they are doing. So we shouldn't, because people take advantage of people who become completely vulnerable. So don't be completely vulnerable. Don't be, have your senses up, put on your thinking cap while you are trusting. Don't be foolish about it. That's the word. Don't be foolish about it. So
very interesting.
We would always have people that breach our trust. We would always have them.
Very interesting point of view, sir. But I'm looking at this and I'm wondering if I have an ulterior or another thought to this, because I've always believed that vulnerability and trust, it works together. And if I begin to now not set boundaries, I'm not using the word boundaries, but if I begin to, like you said, become too sensitive and too sensible, there will be some point in your life where that could almost consume you and you're almost edgy towards everyone. So I'd rather see it this way as, yes, trust people, be sensible, but if I'm going to commit 100%, because I think trust is not a 90-something% thing. It's a 100. So it's a risky thing. If I decide I'm going to be trusting you, it means I'm actually going to be trusting at 100. If I make it a 93, it's right. I prefer to make it a 0 than a 93. Do you get it? I have 100 or a 0. So I don't like to put boundaries there. But that's my own thoughts, though.
There is this advert on TV. I think it was one of those Gbenga Denuga's TV shows or something.
Okay.
It was very popular. Then there was this old man who was down, and he had his son on the roof. I don't know if you've seen it before. He had his son on the roof, and the father said, "Jump down." And the son was like, "Daddy, I can't jump down, it's too high." And the father said, "Jump down." I don't know if you saw the advert sometimes. It's been long ago. The father said, "Jump." The father said, "Jump down." He said, "Daddy, it's too high, I can't jump." I said, "I'm your father, jump down." And the guy went, bam, and the father left the place, and the guy landed on the ground. And and the boy was like, "Daddy, I thought you were going to catch me." And the father said, "Oh, this is a lesson for you." You understand? Now, he trusted the father. But the truth was that jumping down from the roof wasn't a sensible thing to do. I could have well gotten a ladder. I could have well gotten help. I could have gone well. I don't know. There are other ways, other options. That's what I mean by not being too vulnerable. There are other options I could have gotten down the roof. The motive is to get down. So I didn't have to jump down. All the same. I had my thinking cap. Okay, now, Daddy, you want me down there, right? Okay, don't worry. I'll climb the ladder. I'll go through the other way. I'll come and meet you where you are. No, I want you to jump. Why do you really? Then I start thinking, why do you actually want me to jump when the motive is for me to come and meet you where you are? I'll come and meet you where you are. That is what you want, right? I don't have to jump. But, when you are giving it 100% and you say, yes, it's 100%. Now, for me to still come to you, that is me still trusting you because you wanted me to come and I still came. But do I have to jump? That is where I need my thinking cap on. So sometimes, trusting 100%. Yes, I trust you and I want to be there with you. I want to come to you and everything. But, that does not mean I should suspend my brain. That does not mean I should suspend my thinking faculty. Yes, we have a lot of people. Okay, I want you to come meet me at this junction at 12 midnight. Ah, I love you. Oh, we are in a romantic relationship and everything. And I said, why do you want me to come to that junction? Don't ask me questions. Just come to the junction at 12 midnight. Okay. Even though I love you and everything, I'm thinking to myself, no. He doesn't have to fly that. Why should I come at 12 midnight? Because it's risky for me to come at 12 midnight. But I have to put on my thinking cap and I have to think through it. Why should I come to meet you at 12 midnight? So you have to do some explaining to me.
All right,
that doesn't mean I don't trust you.
That leads me to this question, sir. That leads me to this question. Since we're talking about trust, because trust is it's a very sensitive thing, and people have different definitions to it. I want to ask, what are your thoughts, really? Do you think when trust is broken, it can be restored? I've heard some people say, once you break my trust, there's really no need building anything back because you have shown me your what you can actually do. Do you get it? I'm wondering, if we go by that kind of ideology, it means that we're not giving space for humans to be humans, because as much as we try to put on the boundaries and everything, humans will still be humans. Sometimes some trust or some things happen not very consciously, not because I planned them to happen, but probably there was one third-party involvement and this is how it turned out to be. So if my partner now uses that as a yardstick to never trust me again, do you understand my question? So I'm wondering, if trust is broken, whether directly or indirectly, consciously or unconsciously, do you think it can actually still be mended and brought back without even referring to that time when it was broken? What are your thoughts?
Yes, trust can be restored. 100% yes, trust can be restored. I spoke earlier on about, however, the influence, it could be internal, it could be external. Know where the influence is coming from and try to fix it. But how do we really restore trust? Simple, forgiveness. Forgiveness. Now, a lot of people say, I've forgiven you, but the truth is they've not forgiven. Number one, first forgive yourself. Most of the time, they forgive the other person. You know, I've forgiven you, don't worry, but I'm not going to talk to you. I'm not going to have anything to do with you, but I've forgiven you. The reason why you don't want to talk to them or have anything to do with them is because you have not forgiven yourself for being a fool. You see yourself as a fool, like, oh my God, how did I really get into this? So the truth is, nothing can bring me and you together again. I've forgiven you, go your own way, but the truth is, because I can't ever forgive myself for falling for this thing. So number one, forgive yourself. Number two, forgive the person. Now, if you can, I've had people who have broken my trust over the years. But the truth is that I've tried this, and this I'm saying, as much as people will say it is not easy or anything, I have tried it personally and it has worked for me. I forgive myself, one, and I forgive the other person. And in forgiving myself and forgiving the other person, I learned lessons around what happened, and I saw the ways to tackle it. So I picked up the lessons and worked on it. So in the place of forgiveness, trust can be restored. Trust can be regained. Trust can be regained. But in the place of regaining and restoring trust, you have to pick up the lessons, which was what breached the trust in the first place, and work on these lessons to make sure that these things don't happen again. Because, like you said, the people who breach the trust sometimes did it unconsciously. They didn't know. Probably because that is that person's personality, or however they think, or however they know how to do things best. So pick up the lessons, try and see how you can work on it with the person inclusive and see how you can. But the major thing is forgiveness. Forgive yourself, forgive the person, and you'll see how trust will be restored.
In as much as I get what you are saying, I actually beg to differ. I think it depends on what exactly the person must have done to break my trust, right? So let me use this perfect example. Someone that is planning to kill me. I'm sorry, how do you say I should forgive myself first and say I should forgive the person? We are not going to talk. It's simple. What makes you think this person will not want to kill me again? What makes you think this person will not want to plan something evil? So I think it depends on exactly... Tell me. Are you with us? Yes, I'm hearing you. I want you to just go on.
Yeah, forgiveness is a choice. It's a choice. Nobody is going to force you to forgive.
Okay.
You understand me? So let's get that perspective right. Even though the Bible, as Christians, if we are Christians, the Bible have asked that we should forgive. It's not form. But the truth is, it's a choice. You have to take that step. So if you feel that this person tried killing me and, there's nothing that can, that's fine. You understand me? But in the place whereby you feel that you would not mind restoring the trust, that's what I was addressing earlier on. In the place whereby you feel that you will not mind restoring the trust, then you can decide to say, okay, forgiveness is actually just the key, is the beginning to restoring the trust. Because if you don't forgive, the truth is this: you can never trust again. You can never trust again. You just keep remembering, and you just keep, going back to whatever has been done. And we have a lot of couples, a lot of people who are married. Probably the husband has once cheated on the wife, or the wife has once cheated on the husband, and they are still together, still live together and everything. But the truth is this: they've not forgiven each other. So they are living together, they are eating together, they're going out, But any small thing, that whole scenario comes back, bam. And, the next thing is that, they start fighting and stuff like that. And it could even make you become agitated towards whatever is going to happen next, because the truth is, it's still so fresh. The wound is so fresh in your mind. The wound is so fresh. So it's a choice. It's a choice. And that's why a lot of people find out that they can't easily forgive, even in marriages. What they do is that they opt for divorce, because they find out that, look, this offense is unforgivable. So the best thing for us is, let's go our separate ways. So it's a choice for me. It's a choice. It's a choice.
All right. So let's talk a bit about social media, right? Because I feel like social media also has a play, or it has a role in all of this accountability between, relationships, partners, and all of that. You see how the divorce rates, once you just hear one person is, infidelity and all of that, the next thing is everybody wants to just go their separate ways, right? So I want to talk about, how do you think that social media has actually impacted, accountability now in relationships?
Thank you very much. One thing I want to say first is that in relationships, no one size fits all. No one size fits all in relationships. And so if I'm going to look into your relationship to work with mine, then I've set out to fail already before I started. And that's what a lot of people have done. Now, we have a lot of people on social media coming out, once I have a ring light and I have a camera phone, I'm good to go. I now bring out my own hurts. I bring out my own issues, my whatever pain I'm going through. I bring it on social media, and I am launching it out. I was with a friend yesterday, and most likely, probably she's watching me right now, and we were talking about, our relationship or our marriage, and she said something to me. She said, the day I realized that I was damaged was the day I tried giving an advice to another person. She said, I realized I was damaged because by the time I saw the quality of advice I was giving, I realized that, oh my God, where am I coming from? Like, the lady was like, oh, this thing, should I tell my husband? Like, why do you need to tell your husband? Go and do it. I was like, then somebody said, no. I think she needs to tell. Then she said, she realized that I can't give marital advice at this moment. Let nobody come to me from it because I'm damaged already. So we have a lot of people coming on social media, bringing their pain, their hurts, and whatever they are going through to advise. And you, who your relationship is still okay, you are now taking their lessons from their damaged and hurt perspective to now work on your own. And before you know it, your husband, who has not cheated on you before, you have become a sniffer dog to his phone because somebody on social media told you that, you have a right to his password and you have a right to his messages. Don't allow it. Pick up his phone in the middle of the night and run your shift till tomorrow morning. And before you know it, you are pick up a full-time job on your husband's phone, and you're looking for what is not there. And all of a sudden you saw hello dear, just hello dear that you saw there. God Almighty, the next month it's going to be what? Who is that dear? Who is that? And things like that. And the guy is just like, probably. So Let us be sensitive. Let us be sensitive. There's no one size fits all. Know your relationship for yourself. Know who you are married to for yourself. Understand their personality. Understand their beauty. Understand who they are. The place of understanding cannot be commonized. It cannot be trivialized. Understand who they are and deal with them accordingly. And I must also say this, relationship advices are very vast. They are wide. They are vast and wide. We cannot exhaust them in not even in a year. Because as you are advising this person, you are seeing another case that is so different from this person, and you are thinking you cannot use this person's specimen to deal with this person. It's always different because we are different people, different personalities. So there's no one size fits all. So taking the social media to work on whatever relationship or to make it as a baseline for whatever you want is you setting out to fail.
All right,
Do
Mr.
the homework
Tosin,
yourself.
this has been
Know
very
who you are
insightful,
married
but I apologize. We have to go now. We've exceeded our time, but this has been so insightful, and we'd love to continue this conversation some other time. Thank you very much for your contribution. Thank you, God's Beauty, and thank you to our audience. Till tomorrow, stay sharp.